baby. 2-0.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Blitz the Books. Happy Thursday. How's it going, Mikey?
Happy Thursday indeed, Mr. Wayne. It was a beautiful week last week. Perfect 2-0 here on the show to get back in the saddle. Yeah, excited tonight, man. Got a little Thursday night football matchup going on. Supposed to be a torrential downpour in Seattle. Not so sure about that, but what's going on in your world, buddy?
Oh, nothing. You know me, just cranking around the clock, trying to find some winners for us tonight. We've got a nice NBA and college basketball card for our premium members. Still trying to decide if we want to do anything in this NFL game and the college football bowl game tonight. Leaning Missouri State's way, but not sure I'm going to get to the window. I know you're kind of leaning the other side, so I think that's probably why haven't made a play in this game yet. It's a game where I'm not sure anybody really has a clear idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Where Mizzou State's coach left, he's already gone. He took the Coastal Carolina job.
Yep.
Flip side, Arkansas State's coach Butch Jones, 4-1 in bowl games, so a pretty good record there for him. But I don't know how much stock you put in that. Kind of a weird deal. Missouri State, you would think would want, this is their first, I believe, their first season in FBS, so they would want the bowl win. They should be more motivated. Problem is, they lost a lot of guys to the portal. So there's
Mm-hmm.
just all this back and forth. Don't really know. I do like Arkansas State QB Jalen Rayner. Kid's got a ton of ability, both with his arm and his legs. So just some tidbits there. It's a El Paso for me, El Paso. But good luck to your
Yeah,
boy.
and I think you've got a pretty good read on Arkansas State this season. I know you've cashed at least one bet with them, if not more. So I know it's a pretty tricky game, but like we cashed the Delaware game last night. That was their
Yeah,
first
we
or
did.
second game in a bowl series. So this is kind of similar to Missouri State. This could be potentially their first bowl win. So there may be a little more motivation on their side. But let's talk about last week a little bit. We did go 2-0, moving our overall record to 20-14 at a 59% hit rate. Pretty solid for some free NFL picks. You gave out the Vikings plus 6.5. Cash that nice Sunday night game minus
And
115
sprinkle the
odds.
money line too, baby.
Nice little
Sprinkle.
sprinkle on the money line as well. Hopefully, you guys listened and took that advice as well. And then we cashed the Ravens -2. I wasn't expecting a shutout against the Bengals, but
Oh
we
boy.
got one.
Yeah,
So
we did.
sweat free winner for that one. So
Yeah.
let's move to this week, Mike. We've got two game lines, and then we're gonna talk about some props later on. Let's start with the game lines here. What is the play you're going to be taking?
Yeah, so this is funny. We're we're going back to the well, but we're doing it in reverse, big way. I faded my Dallas Cowboys last week, paid off handsomely. This week, I'm actually going to jump back on my Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
I played Dallas -1.5 at standard juice at the score earlier this week. 2-unit play for me against the Chargers. I'm Mikey Knobs. Have you lost your ever loving mind? Don't you know the Chargers are a quote good team playing a terrible team like Dallas? Yes, yes, yes. I know that. So we got to ask ourselves, Big Wave, why is the terrible team the favorite? I'll tell you why. Because the books know this is a awful, awful travel spot here for the Chargers. I get it. Dallas's playoff chances are all but gone. I think there's like a 0.000 infinity 1% chance that they make the playoffs. It's all but done. But the Chargers, we get back to them. They just had a highly emotional big win over their arch rival, division rival Chiefs, right? Game that Mahomes tore his ACL that ruined the Chiefs' season for good. Of course, their season's already ruined. But anyway, now they've got to travel. That was at Kansas City, by the way. So
Yep.
it's a back-to-back roadie spot. I love fading teams in back-to-back roadie spots. It's just hard to go on the road 2 weeks in a row. These guys, I don't know, they're professional athletes. They're also human. It sucks not sleeping in your own bed. It just sucks. So now they got to travel all the way to Dallas, a back-to-back roadie spot, which just happens to be at noon. A noon kickoff, which is, wait for it, the circadian rhythm play, baby. It's going to be feel like 10 a.m. to the Chargers body clocks. And here we go, big weight. I studied this one hard. I'm proud of this. The Bolts have struggled all year long when they head east for early start times. I mean, it's just a fact. Jim Harbaugh's bunch, they may be just 1-4 against the spread when they play in the central or eastern time zones. The fact that this is a noon central time game to me, I just love it. Give me Dallas to win this one by at least a field goal. How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? And yep, I'm on the side as well. As you know, I texted you earlier in the week, and I know you had already given this play out to your members, but I was texting you thinking, man, this Cowboys money line looks pretty good to me. So yeah, I ended up giving out the Cowboys money line. I did pay a little juice for that in the minus 120 range, but yeah, I think anything up to -3, fantastic spot that you found, Mike, and I think this
Thank you,
is
buddy.
gonna give us another winner. And yeah, and I'm gonna head over to the Sunday night matchup between the New England Patriots and the Baltimore Ravens.
Let's go. It's a good one.
Baltimore heads into this matchup with all sights on divisional crown and making the playoffs. To get there, they have to keep stacking wins and get through one of the NFL's top teams through 15 weeks. This young New England Patriots squad has taken the NFL's audience by storm this season, but after dropping a huge divisional game this week, can they really strap it up in a tough travel spot? Look, man, Baltimore's entered Sunday night in what I believe is a must-win situation here. So I'm going to back the Baltimore Ravens, and I took them at -2.5. Gave that out -121 was the best odds. It's looking like it's going to move to possibly -3.5 before game time. The way it's looking right now. I don't know if it'll get there, but I think if you like the Ravens, you need to jump on them as soon as possible. Um, they currently sit second place at 7-7, and they are fighting to stay ahead in the AFC North. Playoff race, the urgency is pretty clear here after their defense showed out last week, holding Joe Burrow and the Bengals offense to 0 points. Not only can the Ravens build off of the spot, I believe the matchup sets up favorably against a New England team coming off a crushing emotional loss, tied into traveling on the road no matter how close the two cities are here. The Patriots blew a 21-0 lead last week in what was really a look. They were looking for a statement win opportunity against a divisional rival, and that type of collapse, I think, has the potential to linger into next week, especially for a young roster. And I just don't see where the veteran leadership comes into play here on the field. That could snap them right back into place. Vrabel is a heck of a head coach, but I don't he hasn't played between the lines, and I'm just not sure. They don't have the Vince Wilf works anymore. They've got a really young quarterback, really young running back. They've got Stephon Diggs, who I really think is a head case at wide receiver. So I just, other than Hunter Henry, I don't really know who they can lean on to try to say, hey, let's get right back on the horse here. And on the statistical side, I do think that Baltimore has a few advantages here from a matchup perspective. Baltimore holds a couple advantages I do think that matter in a tight game here that I do think is going to be a tight ball game. Offensively, the Ravens rank top 10 in yards per play, top 3 in rushing offense, while New England's defense has struggled to generate consistent pressure, and they rank dead last, 32nd in red zone efficiency allowed. If Baltimore can get in the red zone, their chances of converting points are pretty high here. Baltimore's ability to control the game on the ground is especially important against a Patriots defense that has been vulnerable to physical rushing attacks, and it can also keep the ball away from an explosive plays from Drake May or that the running game has to offer for New England. On the other side of the ball, New England's offense has benefited from a weaker schedule that now faces to step up a little bit in level of competition. Even though Baltimore is only 7-7, it's still a step up in competition. Overall, Baltimore has been the much better team over the last 2, 3, 4 years, and the main core of that team is still there. Baltimore's defense ranks inside the top 10 in red zone efficiency, yards per play allowed, which I think could help limit these explosive plays, turning touchdowns into more like field goals and punts for New England. And I think the betting market also agrees here. Look ahead line for this game opened up at the Ravens -8.5, -9 range back in August. And this is just a pretty big adjustment. I just don't know if the Patriots are really a 6 to 7 point adjustment to the Ravens, even with the struggles right now. Um, Public's pretty heavy on the Patriots, 70% tickets, and they're still sitting as the dog. So we could be looking at a classic fade the public dog spot here once again, Mike. So what do you think here?
Dude, hey, what do we say around here, Big Way? It's been saying is since the beginning of time, right? Public dogs, they have fleas, baby. We don't want public dogs. That's right. They have
That
fleas.
is right.
I mean, Patriots don't need this game. They're 11-3. They're sitting pretty. Yeah, no, Mike Vrabel is a hard nosed coach. He's not going to let them just take the week off. But man,
Hmm.
that had to. I agree with you. You hit a good point there. Like we know Vrabel's a master motivator, but man, when you blow that big a lead against a division rival, it's gotta gut you a little bit, don't it? I mean,
Oh yeah.
they could be stewing on that 3 or 4 days later and not fully engage in practice. Flip side, Ravens finally looking healthier. Lamar's finally healthier with his legs, moving around a lot more. Looks like his mechanics are a little bit better throwing the ball
Mhm.
finally. Ravens got to have it. Yeah, I typically, not always crazy about betting gotta have it teams, but just the fact that you
Yeah.
said it, look ahead line, huge adjustment, like a 6 point adjustment down from what it was during the summer. Patriots have just played a pansy schedule, man. Dead last in straight schedule, according to Sagarin, just like you mentioned. I think that
Yep.
means something here. Ravens should be buttoned up and ready here in prime time, I think.
We will see, but yeah, the official play is the Ravens -2.5. And as always, if you are enjoying these breakdowns and they are helping you guys at all, please hit the like, subscribe, drop a comment, let us know what your favorite plays are. It helps the channel more ways than you think.
Absolutely.
Now let's dive into the props for Week 16 of the NFL. Mike, what you got, buddy?
Yeah, I'll make it short and sweet on this one, man. I just
Hmm.
I just picked this out literally a few minutes before the show started here. Kenneth Gainwell, baby. Kenneth Gainwell. I got a Kenneth Gainwell man crush going on. Found him for anytime TD plus 170 at Novig, big Wade. What kind of crazy price is that? I think it's plus 115, plus 120, 125 on other books. So Novig being awfully generous. So just line value alone, I like that look. Everybody and their brother knows I've told a lot of people this, but I like picking the highest total on the board because that means they're calling for a lot of touchdowns. That this week it happens to be the Lions and the Steelers. We saw last week Lions Rams. My goodness, what was there 60 something points scored in that game? All touchdowns. You could have picked like five different players for anytime touchdowns and made a bundle of cash. And I don't know if it's going to go the same way this week, but Gainwell, we saw him last week get more
Yeah.
snap share, which I really liked. Aaron Rodgers really trusts this guy. I read a clip that Rodgers said he really liked watching Gainwell when he was with the Eagles all those years, and he's really thrilled to have him in the backfield. Notice watching that game on Monday night, anytime Rodgers is pressured, the first thing he does is look out in the flat to Gainwell. I can see him doing that a lot here, just because as bad as Detroit's defense has been, they're a mash unit this year. Again, ravaged by injuries. Aiden Hutchinson still rushes the passer very, very well. The minute Hutch busts through there, A Rod's going to be raising up, going out to Gainwell. I just hope he does that in some goal line situations. We cash this bad boy. Gainwell, even playing part time, sharing a lot of carries with Jalen Warren, still scored 6 touchdowns already this year. Definitely a
Hmm.
threat to
Yep.
score as a rusher or receiver. So, yeah, short and sweet for me on this one, Big Wade. I just think it's too good a price to pass up on Mr. Gainwell. What do y'all?
No, I absolutely love it, and I think obviously he's the one player that I took in the Dolphins and Steelers game on Monday
Nice.
night. We cashed his receiving yard, so I absolutely love backing him here to score a touchdown. And I think we're gonna stay in the same game. I've been sitting here trying to decide which one to give out. I'm just gonna give out both of these plays, and we'll see if we can go at least I'll catch one of these bigger plus money plays, and maybe we can go
Yeah.
2 and 3 here. But we're gonna stick in the same game, and I'm gonna go with a Mon-Ra St. Brown anytime touchdown,
Oh,
-110 best odds over at DraftKings or Hard Rock. Other than that, I think the his line may be starting to move a little bit to -115, -120. Look, man, Detroit's offense, they continue to operate as one of the most reliable and efficient units in the NFL, especially when they reach the red zone. Detroit's ranks number one in the NFL in scoring at 30.6 per game, and second in the red zone efficiency, 67%. Almost every key metric is top 10 for this unit, and the Steelers' defense has been known to give up points this season. On the road, especially, the Steelers' defense has allowed 22, 28, 25, 33, 14, and 32. Four of the six games were over 25 points. Look, the Lions are very public this week, but they are looking to bounce back off of their 7 point loss to the LA Rams. Now we're looking at a 6 point spread with the highest total on the board, as you mentioned. With the team total for the Lions sitting between 29.5 and 39.5, depending where you look. And the Lions are 11-4 in their last 15 games at home. It looks like the books are expecting at least three, if not four, touchdowns for the Lions. So that's one of the main reasons why I targeted one of the Lions players this week. I do expect the Lions to move the ball. They rank number one, or they rank number one in the NFL in yards per play at 6.2, while the Steelers rank 16th, allowing 5.3. Lions also rank third in passing yards and fifth in rushing yards, while the Steelers rank sixth, worst against the pass and are middle of the league against the run. So I project a lot of quick passes for the Lions, as the Steelers do rank fifth in the league in sacks per game and fourth in QB hits. So I do think Goff's going to be looking to get the ball out of his hands a little bit quicker in this game, and that's what led me to Amon-Ra St. Brown, as I do love his role inside the 10-yard line, while also holding the upside of ability to just take one from the house with yards after the catch. St. Brown is a fantastic route runner, and he is very physical. St. Brown has been a volume machine in recent weeks. Prior to setting a season high with 18 targets last week, his previous 8 weeks, he saw targets of 9, 13, 12, 8, 13, 10, 10, and 9, excluding the Packers game that he was injured in. So I just think volume alone, along with the fact that he's coming off a 2 touchdown game. I like that they can build off that momentum as they did earlier in the season when St. Brown scored 3 in a row. He scored 3 touchdowns at Chicago and then proceeded to catch touchdowns in 2 games after that. So St. Brown has not scored at home in 3 of his last 4 games, and now 2 straight at home. So I just think he is due here. I also think looking at his receiving yards and receptions is a pretty good look here, as previous alpha number one receivers have torched this defense. Not a lot of them have scored, but a lot of them have had 80, 90, 100 plus yards on this defense. So I think Amon-Ra St. Brown can make you money in this matchup.
I love this guy, Wade. I absolutely love
Yeah.
this guy. He is a beast. I mean, he turned his ankle. Everybody thought he was going to be out a couple weeks ago against
Yeah.
Dallas on Thursday night. The sucker was swelled up real big after the game that
Yep.
Sunday. What does he do? Comes out and just torches the Dallas defense. You never. The guy's an absolute warrior. Friends at PFF have a good point here as far as the matchup goes. So Amon Ra typically lines up in the slot. Well, just so happens that the Pitt defense ranks 28th in yards allowed to slot receivers. Woo, that's not
There we
very good.
go.
It's good for our bet, though, baby. Let's go, Amon Ra. Find the end zone, big guy. I think he will. It should be a good one, Big Wade. I like it. I like the price, too. I like the price. I'm surprised they
Yeah,
hadn't
I don't
started
mind it. Yeah.
pricing Amon Ra in that 130 to 140 range. It
Yeah.
might be coming.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, but it might be coming here to a theater near you.
Yeah, if
Because he
they
just
I wouldn't mind that move. It'll show that we got we got the best of the early number. And then I'm gonna go ahead and give out a bonus play in that
yeah.
Sunday night game as well. The bonus play is going to be Mark Andrews anytime touchdown in the Sunday night game for the Ravens Patriots matchup. That was plus 150 is best odds over at Hard Rock. And then if you guys want to read that write up, you can go grab that article. It's either going to be eatwatchbet.com or bettersinsider.com, I assume.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Watch Bet just because we need a little more prop action on there this week. So yeah, check that out in the morning. Should have it posted probably no later than 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. That'll be up ready to roll. Get all of Big Wade's thoughts there. Yeah, can't wait. It's going to be a good one. Wade is on a heater, by the way. Have y'all noticed Wade's on a heater with his anytime TD props? Cashed both of them last week. They were easy, baby. They were easy. There was a no sweat variety. Sign up for
No
this man's
sweat.
Discord. Sign up for his Discord. What are you doing? Do you not like money?
Yeah, appreciate that. No, we have been on a heater. We're looking to stay hot and cash our fifth profitable day in the road. So let's get out of here, and we will catch you guys next week. We'll do a quick rundown. Mike gave out Kenneth Gainwell for the Pittsburgh Steelers to score anytime touchdown plus 170 against the Detroit Lions. I gave out Amon-Ra St. Brown anytime touchdown minus 110 for the Lions against the Steelers in the same game. And then as a bonus play, if you guys want, take a Mark Andrews anytime touchdown for the Baltimore Ravens. Mike gave out the Cowboys minus 1.5, minus 110. And I gave out the Ravens minus 2.5, minus 121. As always, we appreciate you guys. Let's cash these tickets, and we'll see you next time.
Y'all be good.